Welcome, everybody. Thanks to Ben McGinnis for that awesome audio on our intro video, as always. And we're back. It's Thursday, and the topic this week, we're going to get messy, as you can see by my picture here. When I was a kid, there wasn't a much gorier movie than Reanimator or Bride of the Reanimator.
Yeah, that was crazy, eh?
Right? Yeah. Oh man, the days of practical, like just practical effects. Just
I know.
Groundbreaking practical effects.
It was so good. I just watched it recently, and it still stands the test of time.
You do, yeah. I watched it a month ago. I'm gonna say, yeah. Awesome. So yeah, we're gonna get messy. We're talking about the history of splatter movies, which it's a shorter history than a lot of genres because obviously, you couldn't show stuff like that until like pretty much the 70s.
Yeah.
But we kind of included torture porn or gorno as that's the first time I've heard that.
I've never heard that before.
Never heard torture porn referred to as gorno, but I like it. I actually like it more than torture porn because torture porn, you say torture porn to people, it's like
that sounds rough.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that, and it's going to be fun. So if you have a favorite movie, a splatter movie, or a torture porn movie, or just a really bloody, gory movie that you like and didn't know it was a splatter or a gorno, throw in the comments. We'll chat about it. Well, of course, we have our history of that we're going to run down. We got the latest in horror news we're going to talk about at the end of the show. But right now, we got a little bit of news. Steve, you got some news this week.
Yes, sir. Nominated for a Rondo.
Yeah, man. For your animation on Terrifier 1 and Terrifier 2 comic adaptations.
Yes, sir.
Right on, buddy.
Yeah, feels pretty damn good.
As you see some of the artwork there from Terrifier and Terrifier 2. If you don't have that yet, you can go to Steve's Facebook page. You can find his website there. You can go and all kinds of cool shit you can pick up. So for you or for the horror fan in your family.
Yes.
Let's not waste any time then, and we're going to get into this list. Obviously, we've been fascinated by blood. I think as a human species, we've been obsessed with war. Going back to the gladiator days, they would fill stadiums full of people to watch guys get their heads chopped off and eat by lions and.
Exactly. Now we have wrestling with like barbed wire. It's kind of toned down, but we still have blood. So
yeah, public hangings.
Guillotine,
the old torture chambers of the medieval days. So, as a species, we're I don't think it's a secret that we're messed up. and we got movies like this so that we don't actually have to go out and do the real thing to satisfy our animal urges.
Sadly.
I went way, way back for this one. This was a silent film, obviously before the rating system was really a thing. And I didn't get a chance to find it or watch it, obviously. So, but for 1916, I can't imagine it would have had to been that gory or bloody to be shocking.
What?
Intolerance was a silent film. One of the most shocking movies ever made at its time.
Have you seen this?
I haven't seen this, no.
Me, I have no idea about this.
Yeah. It was the first appearance of gore or realistic scenes featuring blood and or carnage.
Oh, my God. People would have been passing out back then.
Right? And like I said, from then, we kind of got the rating system once, we got, we were out of the silent movie era, everything was songs and dance and all these lovely movies. And even the horror movies were very, very tame. And, it doesn't surprise me that it took till 1960 out of Japan. Whoa. We got Jigaku. I'm going with Jigaku. That might be wrong.
It sounds pretty fluent.
Violence. Sorry?
That sounds pretty fluent to me, if you ask.
Yeah, Jigaku. Explicitly violent, scenes of dismemberment. We're talking 1960 here.
Whoa. I like the dude cooking everyone in the pot down below.
Yeah. Doesn't surprise me, though, that Japan was ahead of the game in the horror.
Yes.
because they put out some of the best horror out there. Korea, Japan. I mean, how many American movies have been remakes of these monster hits from over east?
And like truly chilling. Like some of their paranormal stories.
Yeah.
Wow. Terrifying.
And I don't think we can really talk about any genre, at least here in North America, without giving, credit to, I think the big three were, Psycho. Psycho was shocking. It wasn't by no means a splatter movie, but for that time, a little bit of chocolate syrup down the drain, that's a splatter movie for the time. That's a splatter movie.
We can't show a toilet, but we can show a woman getting hacked up in a shower.
Right. Obviously, flesh eating.
Nice.
Night of Living Dead. People were ran from the theaters from movies like this. And I mean, kind of a slasher, but I would consider this kind of a splatter movie as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. You look at it now and it's somewhat tame, even though it was banned in how many movies or countries? It was banned everywhere.
Yeah. But universally, it seems to be that from what I found, the godfather of gore seems to be Herschel Gordon Lewis. One of his first big movies was Blood Feast.
Okay, because he had Blood Feast, Blood Opera.
Yeah,
I did some work for Herschel.
Oh, nice.
But probably about 10 years ago. And it was all about just like splatter. That's all it was.
So yeah, Blood Feast came out in 1963. It was made for $24,000, and over the next decade, that movie made $15 million.
What?
Right?
Wow. That's crazy.
That's the Journeyman, right? Like that's that's going and playing like bar. These bands playing bar after bar after bar because it's playing these small cinemas everywhere. Just you know what I mean? To accumulate that kind of because movies like that didn't get into the big theaters. Didn't get.
It would be on the small cinema at like 2 a.m,
right?
And then
in places you didn't want to go watch the movies.
Oh no,
at that late. Unless maybe you were looking for something else, or somewhere to do it. The fact that these movies like 2000 Maniacs, Color Me Blood Red, Blood Feast, the fact that they were in color was even more shocking to people because, like I said, before that we got the chocolate syrup down the drain, the black and white, and to see blood red, that was pretty shocking for people.
Oh, for sure.
Moving into the 70s here. Again, a lot of these I think some of these could be defined as slasher type movies, but I tried to base it on the amount of violence and gore and body, dismemberment, stuff like that. House on the Left, though, like that movie, again, it was one of these just great, shocking movies.
It was rough, eh?
Yeah.
Wow.
People called it ultra violent, to quote Clockwork Orange there, the ultra violence.
Exactly.
The rape scenes. It was banned in the UK until the remake was released.
Are you serious?
Just like however many years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't that long ago.
Right. Yeah, it had been banned in the UK.
Wow.
What do we got next here? Yeah, Hills Have Eyes. Like that's no one wanted to take that long highway from Vegas to California or wherever that was anymore.
Yeah.
After that movie, you don't want to break down in places like that.
Yeah, that was a rough one too.
Yeah, very brutal, very graphic for the time.
Oh yeah, like that was nasty.
Yeah, the brutality definitely spoke volumes. In the original script, it called for I guess whatever we're going to call them, troglodytes, like cave people, whatever they were. It originally called for them to kidnap the baby and eat the baby.
Are you serious?
But the cast wasn't on board after reading it, and eventually he decided to kind of take that out of Wes Craven decided to take that out of the script. So could you imagine 1977 a film depicting someone eating a baby?
Like, yeah, no. Even now, that's kind of faux pas. Like, you don't do that.
Yeah, for sure. again, the Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, just so many great special effects innovations.
That bite, I will never forget that bite in this movie. There's one bite where they're going up the stairs and the woman bites the guy in the hallway, and it just, the blood is coming out like crazy, and it's like, wow.
And was it Day of the Dead where they ripped the guy's torso right
Yes.
apart?
It was kind of like, oh, his guts were out.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And then Canada, like we do, we produce these great gems, these actors, these directors, and this guy, I think he's still today is just so far ahead of his time.
Oh yeah,
we see a young David Cronenberg there. Gave us early movies like Shivers, Rabid.
Nice.
And these movies were produced by Ivan Reitman, another fellow Canuckle. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, both just cutting their teeth out of film school,
Wow.
But yeah, David Cronenberg, we're going to see a few of his movies pop up on this list. I'm a huge Cronenberg fan.
Same.
His body, body modification, and just that whole. No one does it like Cronenberg. Nobody.
No. There's something about him that the minute you see it, it's his work.
Yeah. And you haven't seen Infinity Pool yet.
I have not. I really want to.
Brandon is a beautiful chip off Cronenberg's shoulder for sure. Like he definitely has a great mind, and I look forward to following his career for sure.
Ooh, this is exciting, man.
Yeah. Okay, we don't want to skip ahead there. Another great movie.
Nice.
Phantasm, The Tall Man. He creeped me out. I think this is why I didn't like funeral homes. Despite the fact that we were going to mourn family members, I just didn't want to see the tall man come around the corner.
No.
Or this thing.
Oh, remember that when you're a kid, when you'd rent these and like, look at that geyser of blood. That is so awesome.
Yeah, if you don't know the tall man, he was they were from like an alien planet and basically come here to get slaves, zombified slaves to work in their whatever, right? It was weird.
I know that ball scared the hell out of me too, eh?
Yeah.
With the two blades in the drill, that was nasty.
Again, we had a few slasher types in the 70s. A lot of it was implied violence. A lot of it was off-screen violence, the knife raising, and then the splatter or stuff like that. Yeah. But this movie,
oh wow,
this gave us so much.
That was crazy.
The runtime in this movie was 1 hour 33 minutes. It included 30 minutes of rape.
Jeez. Yeah, it was rough, man.
Yeah.
That's a hard one to get through.
Yeah, and the remake, the first remake, they were all pretty decent, but the very first remake, man, did they nail it.
They did. Wasn't that great?
It was so good, yet so disturbing and so hard to watch.
It was, man. That was rough.
And this movie, this is the movie that really sparked a lot of outrage in the film industry from the Academy types and the uppity critics like this guy, Mr. Roger Ebert, and a representative from the UK. I think he was in office. What was his name here? I think I have it here. Graham Bright of the UK. He was a member of parliament. So him and Roger Ebert, they basically led a charge against censorship for home releases.
Get out of here.
Yeah, basically, and successfully too. They were able to get a lot of these movies banned or edited it in such a way before they released. Like you said, I said earlier, Last House on the Left wasn't released, the original, in the UK until the remake came out.
That's unbelievable.
So, I think we can almost thank these guys because this was late 70s and you can't buy publicity like that.
Oh,
and we had that just so many horror movies come out in the 80s from all these little independent studios and small studios. And it really reminds me of when Dee Snider
Oh,
got to go sit in front of Congress and just rip those motherfuckers apart for coming after metal music, saying that there was hidden lyrics of go kill yourself and stuff like this, bondage and sadomasochism. And I love watching him tell Al Gore, saying basically, if your wife is looking for hints of sadomasochism and this, you find what you want, right? They're calling her a psycho.
well, Tipper Gore. She was a nut, man.
But metal music, I think, was really, became mainstream, I think, because of the publicity we got out of that.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Thank you, Roger Ebert and Tipper Gore, for giving us so many great metal albums and horror movies. I know you're not a fan of the Italian cinema, and I didn't know that this was even an Italian movie, but this movie stuck with me. And I haven't seen it in a very long time, but I remember renting it from video capers. And I remember being so freaked out by this movie.
City of the Living
You may have seen it under City of the Living Dead. For legal reasons, it was changed to that from the Gates of Hell.
Okay.
Yeah. Very graphic, very eerie. Just the tone of the movie was so eerie.
Really? I'm pretty sure I've seen that.
Yeah.
Like a long time ago.
Yeah, that one really stuck with me. That priest hanging in the tree, especially. Oh my God. Just another reason to not go to church. Not because I'm a sinner. Another movie that got a lot of controversy. I think maybe the original OG found footage.
I think it was because remember they opened up with that where they had the cases of film.
Yeah.
If I'm pretty sure I'm right. The director was brought to court because they thought that the actual people and the actors died in the film. He had to prove
weren't
that
they charged with animal cruelty as well?
Yes, because remember they slaughtered that turtle. That was real.
Yeah. Yikes! That's messed up, man.
That's another hard one to get through.
It is, and it didn't age well.
No,
it didn't age well. Basically, what was Green Inferno was the modern day take on it, right?
Yeah, Eli
Roth.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I love this movie, and I haven't watched this one in a very long time, and I need to put it on my list for sure to watch soon.
Oh, Scanners, so good.
Again, just that golden age of practical effects.
Wasn't that awesome? Wasn't it Michael Ironside that did that to him too?
Yes.
Yeah. That was so good.
Yeah, very, very awesome. If you guys got if you guys got a movie you want to talk about, feel free to throw it in the comments. We'll share our thoughts, and we can talk about your picks as well as we're going through our list. It seems this next one kind of fits all the genres for some reason. It seems like no matter what our topic is, this gets thrown into the mix.
Oh yeah, The Thing.
Very groundbreaking effects.
Oh man, crazy, eh? Look at that. That was so awesome.
Yeah, the shape shifting and
the head coming off that guy and scuttling away. Oh man,
yeah, so good. We talked about Cronenberg a little bit earlier, and I think this has got to be considered. I mean, at least mainstream, because a lot of people don't get Cronenberg movies. Like this was a previous story that he had just, he was at the helm directing this one. But yeah, so not a Cronenberg movie per se, but man, did he take it and run with it.
Oh my God. For sure.
Just the transformation of Jeff Goldblum as we see here.
Yeah, Brundlefly. Oh my God. Mm-hmm. I know. And when he barfs up the acid on that guy's leg and everything, that was crazy.
And we're talking early mid 80s. This movie still holds up.
Wow.
Like it is the effects are flawless in this.
It was so good.
Yeah.
I got to watch that again.
Yeah. One of my favorite guilty pleasures was this movie series. There's a few of these.
Oh my God.
The drill bit killer. Again, you could probably say slasher, but it was very gory, and I definitely consider it a splatter film.
Wasn't there one where the guy had a guitar with a drill on the end
The
of it
second,
too?
it was the second or third one. Yeah, it was on the end of a guitar. So good.
Because you want to rock out when you're killing
Right.
people with a drill.
Yeah, for sure. A la Edward Kemper, the sorority killer. Sam Raimi has given us so many good movies, and I mean, it all started with Evil Dead.
Oh yeah.
Just special effects marvels, filmmaking. The innovations on such a low budget, what they were able to do, and the way they were able to capture those moments.
Oh, I know. Like reading Bruce Campbell's book when he shows the diagrams of what they did to capture those like kind of the chase scenes with the car and everything is unbelievable.
Yeah, very cool. Movie series, a character that I hold dear to my heart. My very first celebrity interview was Doug Bradley, and the Hellraiser movies were they were a step up.
They were. That was a different kind of gore.
This movie, it almost made me believe in hell.
Exactly. This movie gave me the chills.
Yeah.
Like Jason and all that. Yeah, I got scared and everything, but this one legitimately stuck with me.
Yeah, for sure. It was a long time, I think, before I even as much as I remember loving it, it was a long time before I think I watched it again.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
For sure. One of the things I love about doing these topics is, I like to think I'm pretty versed in a lot of genres when it comes to horror, but I always learn something new. And this week I found out that Academy Award winner Peter Jackson got his start making splatter movies in New Zealand.
I had no idea about this till you just told me this.
And you'll probably recognize, if you're a hardcore fan like me, you'll probably recognize at least one or two of these titles. I remember this one, Brain Dead.
No, I don't know that. That's a cool shot.
Fantastic special effects. These movies, Peter Jackson's splatter movies, were so they were almost like Grindhouse. They were so over the top. They were funny, but yet you're watching people to be dismembered, and it was just so awesome. This one I don't know. This one I have to check out. Bad Taste.
I see that almost every HorrorCon I'm at. There's a poster of that at someone's booth.
Really, eh?
Yeah, Bad Taste. I've never seen it, but I always see that poster.
And this one I definitely remember. And as you see it billed here on the DVD cover, I remember it being this, along with Bride of the Reanimator, being one of the goriest movies I had ever seen.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I love that cover so much.
So good. Yeah, covers were so great.
I know, right?
I loved just, seeing that movie cover and going, oh my God, this is something I want to check out.
And you'd flip it over to see a few of the scene captures on the back, and you'd be like, yeah, I'm getting this.
Just based on the artwork. Yeah.
Exactly. I miss those days.
We're about halfway through our list here, so we're going to pause to pay our bills. Are you an employee at a hotel where some crazy shit happened, and upon returning to work, you were told to clean up, but you were like, no, I'm not cleaning that, and you were wrongfully dismissed for simply saying that elevators full of blood was not on your resume? Are you a warehouse property manager who was traumatized at work, and now your benefits are saying that the treatment you need is not covered because you failed to check Finding Girl Sawed in Half on your coverage sheet for an extra $10 a month? Or are you simply in the wrong place at the wrong time, working for the elite hunting company, but you were just hired from a temp agency and had no idea there was rich people paying to kill people inside? Then call the offices of Lobster Shark Attorney at Law. They have people waiting by the phones to talk to you right now.
Lobster Shark Attorney at Law. Lobster Shark Attorney at Law.
I thought I turned the loop off.
Lobster Shark Attorney at Law.
Apparently not.
Lobster
It's going to
Shark
be in your head for
Attorney
hours.
at Law.
That angelic voice, though, eh? Wow.
So yeah, give the law offices of Lobster Shark Attorney at Claw a call. They're out there to help you. Moving along with our list here. We always got to get a little dig in. Can't forget that. As I check our comments here. Yeah. What the fuck, Rick? Hey, sometimes you got to take what you can get when it comes to sponsors. I know they're not. I know they're accredited. I know they're certified by the board, but they definitely help out some shady people for sure. I'll give you that. Moving along in our list, I talked about Reanimator and Reanimator. Man, like these movies were just the special effects were just so good for the time.
They were nuts, and they still hold up. That's the thing.
They were really, really that good. And I'm glad we're getting back to a time where we're starting to use a lot more practical stuff and getting away from the CGI and only using it when we really need to.
Exactly.
Because it's so much better. So much better.
Oh, 100%.
I love the first movie in the series. From there, they definitely kind of take a dive. Probably because John Philbin wasn't in them. I don't know. I'm just saying. But even though the story wasn't that great, we can't talk splatter movies and not talk about Return of the Living Dead Part 3.
Oh, man.
Man, was that a gory movie.
It was out there, but you're right. It was gory, man.
Yeah, for sure. And then it seems like the 90s, that's kind of when Hollywood went, okay, there's been all these little independent slasher hits and horror hits, and all these little studios are making all this big money off these horror movies. I think in the 90s, that's when the big studios were like, hey, we want in on this, and started giving us the horror light.
Yes, the Screams, a lot of others.
So you really had to go underground in the 90s to find your hardcore stuff. And I haven't seen either of these, but I definitely want to check them out after hearing about them and reading about them. Of course, there was Blood-Sucking Pharaohs in Pittsburgh.
I have not heard of that.
We had the foreign hit, Ebola Syndrome.
I think you made these up.
This one, there's not a lot visually on this one as far as screenshots and stuff, but it looks creepy as fuck for some reason. Yeah,
it does look pretty creepy. That
it does
shot creepy. There,
and body melt. So yeah, I remember renting, not these specifically, but I remember renting a lot of real B stuff in the late 80s, early 90s to get my horror fix, because the big studios just weren't putting out what I wanted, what I grew up on.
Yeah.
As we move to the later 90s, Canada, we have our gems, man. And this one spawned a few sequels, and man, was it groundbreaking.
Oh, Cube.
Very.
I think I got that from a Rogers rental place. I picked it up one time. Same deal. Just going down the aisle, picked that off the shelf, and I'm like, hey, this looks cool, and brought it home. Wow.
Yeah, not for everybody. I'll be the first to admit I can see how this movie wouldn't be for everybody. But man, I really liked it. I thought it did some really new, cool, and innovative stuff.
Yeah, I really liked it.
And like I said, we got a couple sequels, and then just recently in 2021, we actually got the reverse. Like usually, it's us remaking Japanese and Korean movies that are huge hits. This one went the other way. We just got a 2021 Japanese remake of Cube.
Really?
Yeah, it's hard to find.
Cool.
It is hard to find. I haven't seen it yet myself, but I definitely want to check it out. And I mean, self-admitted, not the biggest vampire fan.
Yep.
But you can't talk splatter movies without this gem.
Oh, you know what? Guilty pleasure. I probably seen this movie over 100 times. I love this movie.
It's just so fun and so gory and so violent. I mean, I love Tom Savini in this as Love Machine.
Yeah,
with his little
pistol on. It's so good, man.
Yeah.
Like it starts out as a kind of a typical Tarantino, pistolero movie. Then all of a sudden it takes a swerve.
Kidnapping gone wrong.
Yep. And then all of a sudden we're stuck in a bar with vampires.
Yeah. Yeah, and near the Mexican border.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's run by Cheech.
Right? Such a great scene.
Oh, it is.
Late 90s, getting into the early 2000s. This movie, it took a long time for Rob to get this movie out. He had a lot of problems with getting this one registered with the National Film Board. He ended up cutting a lot of stuff. House of a Thousand Corpses was, and again, you can't buy publicity like that.
No. I remember they dropped a trailer. Remember, like a year before it came out, and I was so excited. And he'd even play that trailer at his concerts and stuff like that.
That's where I saw it the first time.
Yeah. And then when it finally came out, like I was like, oh, like it was a big thing.
Yeah, so good. Such great casting. Bill Moseley is Otis. I can't remember the woman who played Mother Firefly, but she's a great horror movie star. She's been in tons of stuff in the 70s and 80s.
That was Stifler's mom, too.
No,
I thought it was Stifler's mom.
No.
Okay.
No. She's a horror legend. That lady. Yeah, I can't remember her name. Maybe someone will throw it in the comments there.
Yeah.
But and arguably Sherry's best role as Baby. I think that's one character she's really, really, nailed.
Sid Haig.
He
came out of retirement to do that. That was awesome.
Yeah, we really need to hope that Zombie doesn't undertake like a Godzilla movie or something like that, because I cannot see Sherry pulling off that movie.
I want the poster rights to that.
This can't. I love you, Rob. You can stick it to me later.
Or Jaws with Sherry.
And then we kind of get this is kind of where we crossed over. I think this is that movie kind of took it that way, but I think the torture porn really was coined with Hostel.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
It was a crazy ride.
Yeah, I didn't know what I was getting into when I went to see this, and wow, like after probably about 30 minutes, it really started getting into it, and it was a ride.
Yeah, this movie stirred a lot of controversy. Actually created somewhat of an international incident because Slovakia and Czechoslovakia were pissed.
Really?
They would be being portrayed this way in American cinema. So much so that the tourism board of Slovakia and Czechoslovakia actually invited Eli Roth to fly down there and tour all the great landmarks and all the beautiful places, so they could show him that their country wasn't all just abandoned warehouses and old factories and
butcheries and
he declined, but he did apologize and said that it wasn't meant to portray their country in such a way. He said it was more about the ignorance of Americans when traveling abroad. And I don't think I'd take that invitation. No.
I don't think he'd be coming back. Exactly.
You wake up with a bag on your head, you hear like a blowtorch fire up, and it's like
all these instruments getting laid out.
Yeah. This is one of those urban legends that's been around, I think, for as long as I can remember. Waking up in the bathtub of ice, and this movie kind of took that urban legend and kind of run with it. Traveling to third world countries and kidnapping a big thing. In South America, I know that we're not trying to hurt the tourism in South America. I think it's something that's pretty well known. I love traveling to South America. I've been to a few countries down there. Beautiful, beautiful landscapes, but scary. Yes. That, when you have these militant groups and stuff, just running the countries and being let to run free in these countries. I think you do kind of get stuff like this where, they're taking tourists and.
Well, they think tourists have a lot of money. So all of a sudden your family member gets a box with your finger in it asking for.
You say no year for those vacations.
No. If someone sent me a box with a family member's like finger or toe in it or whatever, God, I wouldn't be able to buy them back at all. I'd be like, sorry, stop sending me these chunks of my family member.
I was going to pay, but you didn't send the return postage.
Exactly. Yeah, they'd be screwed if it was for money for me.
Right? Yeah, this movie, we've gotten, multiple sequels to this next one. I really appreciate this series. I love the way it was written. I love the reveals. I love that we found out that, a couple of them were actually happening simultaneously. I love that. So movies that have gone with this many sequels, it's hard to keep that timeline. It's hard to keep, the facts straight. But I think Saw has done a really good job doing that.
It has, especially the first 5. They were
Mhm.
seamless.
Yeah. And, say what you want about Tobin Bell's character. I mean, he didn't go after just anybody. He was giving people, shitty people, a chance to redeem themselves.
Exactly. Like he didn't go after the really nice people. They were all really shitty people.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And that's when it seems that we just had this explosion of remakes in those 2000s.
Oh,
We
yeah.
had the Dawn of the Dead remake. We had the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The couple of them were with Andrew Brunowski.
Oh, my.
The My Bloody Valentine, the I Spit on Your Grave remake, the Crazies remake, which is a very underrated 70s movie.
Love that movie.
But I think Dawn of the Dead did it best.
That was crazy in the back of the truck there.
Yeah, there were so many messed up scenes in this movie.
That baby, yeah.
Yeah.
That was rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some really, like the opening with that little girl. Holy crap.
Intense.
That was crazy, man.
Intense. Yeah, for sure. I actually went to go see My Bloody Valentine in 3D at the theater.
Really? How was it?
We got there and we sat down, and I'm going to say we were in our 30s at the time, early 30s. I think me and Amber had just gotten together shortly after or shortly before. And a couple a little younger than us, I'm going to say they were probably in their mid to late 20s, came and sat in front of us with 2 young children.
Oh, no.
And then proceeded to say, just stay here. Big brother's going to watch out for you. And we're going to go with the concessions and we'll be right back. And then the trailer started. And I mean, it's My Bloody Valentine 3D. It's going to show scary trailers.
Yeah.
And these kids are freaked up the fuck out. And I just looked at Amber and I'm like, we could move, but it's not going to be enough for me. We got up, we left. I told the manager, I said, listen, the movie hasn't started yet. I get that it's, whatever. You can't do anything to stop them from bringing them into the movie, given the, whatever the rules. I said, but I'm not going to sit there and subject myself to listening to these kids fucking be terrified and scream and probably talk. And they ended up giving us free passes to come back another time and watch it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who brings young kids to a slasher flick, right?
Right. In 3D.
Come on.
Oh, man.
That's brutal.
Yeah. Again, this is a slasher, but this just ties in with my whole, that remake insurgence of the early 2000s. And I think it's the best one of the series. It was done so well. I just remember that 18-minute opening where all of a sudden, spoilers, everybody's dead. And you're like, what the fuck happened? And then the movie starts.
Oh, that was so good. I couldn't agree more. That opening. So like no one has done a movie like that where they kill everyone off and then it starts up.
Yeah.
Like that was awesome.
I can't believe it's been going on 14 years since our last Friday the 13th movie.
Wow.
Like they dropped the ball not releasing one last year.
Wow.
Like 13
hasn't
years,
it been in
right?
court the whole time though?
It has been in limbo. And it's weird. It's weird how, because Sean Cunningham, I think, it owns the rights to the story. But then someone else, I think it had changed studios by the third one when Jason got the traditional mask.
Yeah.
So someone else owns the rights to the look of Jason. So that's where there's that gray area. That's how we got those fan films. The
what is it? Yes.
Yeah.
I wish Blum would just go to both of them and buy the rights to both, right?
Right. That's what needs to happen. We need to turn the Friday series over to Jason Blum for sure.
Oh, yeah. Blum. Could you imagine him with that? Oh, man. I know some people will hate it and be, like shit all over it because some people just don't like Blum stuff, but I love it.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I think he's the best thing to happen to horror in a very long time. And I don't like everything he puts out.
No, but you're right. He is one of the best things that's happened.
Yeah.
And now he's got James Wan with him, like from The Conjuring and everything. Like, what a team.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, lots to look forward to. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I don't know how you watched this movie. If you saw this movie, I'm hoping maybe you bought it in some, little corner store or something, or I hope you didn't order it with your credit card or, on pay-per-view, because you're probably on a list if you had any kind of personal information tied to you renting this movie.
Oh, shit. Man.
The story
yeah,
for a horror movie. And I try and when I tell people I've watched this, they're, oh God, oh no. First one, not graphic.
No.
It is a lot implied.
Yes.
And given the implication, your imagination runs wild.
Oh, yeah. It was bad, man.
You don't need the on-screen
where the guys
have your head go.
Where the guy's like, I'm sorry, I have to go to the washroom. I remember watching that, just shaking my head like, wow.
Best case scenario, you're the head of the centipede.
Yes.
Best case scenario.
That is the best spot to be. You do not want to be at the back of the centipede.
And if you thought that movie was messed up, then we got a sequel. Basically, the plot line was someone was obsessed.
Yeah, that little weird dude.
Movie, Human Centipede, this little creepy dude who worked in a parking garage. And I mean, I don't know who cast this guy, but again,
perfect. Yeah.
Because that little motherfucker was creepy.
He was creepy as hell, man. And he was going to one-up the first guy.
Yeah. And this one gets graphic.
Yes.
This one gets very graphic.
Have you seen 3?
So as we move to 3.
The prison one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird because we got the doctor from the first one playing the warden. We got the creepy parking garage dude playing his little lackey.
His little toady. Yeah.
Characters. And just when you think the movie's unwatchable, like, just when you think it's unwatchable, Eric Roberts swoops in and saves the movie.
You would have never guessed that, right?
He doesn't. You could have given me an infinite amount of guesses, and I wouldn't have guessed that. But he did. He did. Eric Roberts' star power was not enough to save this movie. It was literally unwatchable. I finished it just because I have this weird obsession to know how things end, no matter how bad I think they are when I'm not invested. But it was so bad.
Wow! I just turned it off, man. I was like, I can't do this.
So bad. So bad. Sorry, Eric. Come on the show. And then we got these kind of, these were the, again, kind of, typical storylines. I think not a whole lot of thought put into them, but they definitely went big on the kills and the graphic and the dismemberments and stuff like that. There's a whole, you could probably think of a half a dozen movies that were like, Would You Rather?
Oh yeah. For sure.
Truth or Dare or whatever. There was a dozen of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving along here. I didn't get a chance to finish this one today. I haven't seen it in a very long time.
Oh God. Probably the nastiest, hardest film to get through in my life.
Definitely falls under torture porn.
Yes.
Heavy on the porn.
Yes.
Yeah. We do not endorse or
if I was to meet the director, I would be inclined to slap him and then wash my hand because man, you just feel dirty after, right?
Yeah, it was something else. It was something else.
Yeah. You watched it again?
I got about halfway through it today. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because I couldn't remember much of it at all. I think I was so traumatized I probably erased that part of my memory.
Man, now you'll have to like bleach your eyes after this.
And then we got some other great ones. Very underrated.
Ooh,
The Hatchet
yes.
movies.
With our
Again,
main man, Kane Hodder, playing
Yeah,
Hatchet.
again, a slasher type, but very bloody, very graphic. So definitely falls into the splatter.
There's a kill in there that I always love where he chases that one kind of old man and grabs and splits the head open.
I think it was in your top kills, one of our first shows.
It was. I love that kill.
Yeah. I just saw this movie for the first time today. So, a little backstory. I saw this movie on some streaming platform. Saw that Bradley Cooper was in it. Thought, hey, he usually makes pretty good movie choices. And then I kind of read the write-up, and I was like, kind of vague, reporter, photographer, serial killer, loose in New York, or whatever it was. And we'll watch it later. Even my girlfriend was kind of interested in it because she thought, hey, Bradley Cooper, right? Wow, I'm glad I didn't watch it with my girlfriend. She's glad I watched it without her after I told her what this movie entailed.
No kidding. Is that the cinematic poster?
I'm not sure if this is the official poster.
Holy shit. That's hardcore.
But we got, as you see there, Vinnie Jones, Bradley Cooper. This was a Clive Barker story.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I'm glad.
Love that movie.
So, watching this movie, if you haven't seen it before, we're not going to spoil it too much because I don't want to spoil this movie because there is a very revealing ending.
Yes.
I'm glad I didn't know it was a Clive Barker movie going into watching it because I would have been going, okay, all right, where is it, right?
Yeah.
The whole time. Not knowing that, I'm glad I didn't, and I'm sorry I spoiled that for you, but I don't think it'll take it away from the enjoyment of this movie.
Oh, no.
It is messed up.
And it's on Tubi now, too.
It's quite the reveal. I really hope that's the poster, too. Yeah.
Oh, that's hardcore.
Vinny, and we were talking about this before the show. Vinnie Jones is just great in everything.
He's the best.
Yeah,
I love him.
Former soccer hooligan, if you're not familiar, been in a ton of great movies.
Yeah.
Both comedic and action-packed.
Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch. The guy's the best. That's right.
Yeah, as one of the soccer hooligans, of course.
Quite a stretch for him.
Yeah. Another one that I remember you telling me about this next one. Very long. Yeah. It's hard not to love Vinnie Jones.
Oh, yeah.
She's so good. Oh, and who did he play in the X-Men?
Oh, the Juggernaut. On the Juggernaut.
So good. So good. This next one was one you told me a while ago. I'm pretty sure you had a kill from this one on one of our first shows. It was one of your top kills. And I just watched it for the first time today.
Oh, shit. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. What'd you think?
Yeah, it was. I like me a good Western. Not super graphic. We don't really get into the meat and potatoes of it, as the pardon my pun there, if you've seen it, until the end, really. But I think a lot of this movie just shows us how really rough the fucking frontier times were.
Yeah. No kidding, eh?
Nobody past 1940 is allowed to complain about shit.
Yeah, I know all these people are like, I wish I lived back then. No, screw that.
Frontier times sucked dirty, dusty, fucking sweaty balls.
We would be the ancient dude of our group back then.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone lived past 30.
But great cast. Let me pull it up here because I want to get everybody's name here.
Sid Haig, David Arquette was at the beginning.
Yes, at the beginning, yeah.
Kurt Russell, obviously.
Then Kurt Russell. Then we had I love all these actors. Patrick Wilson,
yes,
is in this. He's always great and everything. We had Matthew Fox.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Who's good? And I love Richard Jenkins. He plays the deputy sheriff.
That's right.
Richard Jenkins he's good in everything, but he is exceptionally good in this movie.
That's right.
Yeah.
And those troglodytes, I guess you could call them that. I don't know.
Yeah, troglodytes, yeah.
They're brutal.
Yeah. Very, very Hills Have Eyes vibe, but Western times.
Oh yeah.
almost a native element to it,
And it was rough at the end.
Yeah.
I don't want to give anything away, but brace yourself.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, good movie. It's a slow burn. It's a slow burn, but it's good. I never at one point any felt like, oh my God, like get to it already. It was good. Because I knew something was coming because you recommended it for me. So
you knew something twisted was going to happen. It knocked the wind out of me. When I first saw that ending, I was
man.
like,
yeah,
I felt like a gut punch.
It's tough. It's
Yeah.
tough. Neither of Steve or I think I can speak for Steve on this one. We're huge fans of this movie, but there was a lot we took away from it that was really good. And you talk splatter movies, you want to talk modern day splatter movies. I don't think anybody, as much as I didn't care for the movie, I don't think anybody really did it better than this.
Oh yeah.
That ending.
Yeah. No kidding, eh?
Right?
Like, wow.
Yeah.
You're right. They did it. They did it right. Like for a splatter movie, holy crap.
And this will haunt my nightmares forever.
Oh God. Well, even the way they opened it up with that guy, he was going to try and like exercise the little girl and everything. Oh my God. It was brutal.
Yeah. I think a new standard has been set though. I think we do have a new king of horror. I think he's the next big. He's been the next big thing for a while, but I don't think until this latest incarnation, really mainstream media at least has taken notice to these movies, or at least this character.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's the new splatter king, I would say. Art the Clown,
especially this after that second one.
Oh my God, that bedroom scene. Whew.
Man, I wish everything worked out the way they had planned for this.
Oh, really?
Are we talking about Evil Dead still? Let us know in the comments what exactly you were referencing there. But yeah, I'd seen All Hallows Eve, and then I didn't know that Terrifier was a direct. I didn't make that correlation until you really started talking about it. And then I watched that one, and man, yeah, that first one, again, there's a couple scenes that are really tough to watch.
That hacksaw scene. Oh man.
Yeah.
That was brutal.
Yeah. Evil Dead. You were talking about Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish it was better too. We're about a month away from the next one.
Yes.
We know Raimi was involved in this next one. We know that Bruce was involved in this next one. So
fingers crossed, big time.
I think, and that trailer was great.
Yes. I can't wait.
But yeah, David Howard Thornton as the Terrifier. That second one, that bedroom scene alone.
Oh my God.
Like, gee. So I was watching it, and Amber was doing something. She had a book up, or she had her knees up, and she was doing something with, writing a budget or doing something. And she couldn't even take the screaming anymore. And
really? Well, when he came back in with the bleach and the salt, I was like, oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
That was rough.
Yeah. If you're in the Western New York area or the Southern Ontario area, or if you're not and just want to make the trip and you're a huge Terrifier fan, both the director and David Howard Thornton, as long as a couple cast members from the sequel have just announced, will all be at Niagara Falls Comic-Con. So
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
It's going to be a good show.
And I didn't want to leave out any TV shows, but I think TV has, when it comes to splatter or Gorno or torture porn, TV's never really had that. Even the HBOs and the show, even they haven't really touched that.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm surprised. Like, okay, yeah, HBO gave us Dexter.
Yeah.
Very good. I thought they pushed a lot of limits. Being a smaller network, FX had a lot of advantages, giving us American Horror Story, and I thought they did really well. But who would have thought one of the big three, NBC in primetime, would get us Hannibal?
That was crazy.
Like, Hannibal was graphic.
That was, yeah. When he split that girl with the glass and like slid her, and you could see like basically chunks of her. Oh my God. That was
Yeah.
crazy.
Good on you, NBC. I mean, you canceled it a little too early for me, but
Yeah.
it definitely was worth the watch for sure.
Yeah. It was a little too early. I really wanted them to go into the Red Dragon and then maybe Buffalo Bill.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame.
I know.
And that's it. That's our list. We're gonna do some news, and if you still got a splatter or Gorno or torture porn movie you want to talk about, you got a few minutes to throw in the comments here. And but in the meantime, we're gonna run down the news from the last couple weeks. We like to keep everybody in the know as what's to coming out. We talked about Dead Island coming out a little bit early on the last show. We actually just got a gameplay trailer, so you can go check that out on YouTube. It looks very cool. Sticking with the video games, we know that Dead by Daylight is going to be turned into a full feature movie.
That could be very interesting with some of their original characters.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I love the look of the hillbilly guys, so I want to see that on big screen.
One thing that sucks about streaming services is a lot of them don't do the physical releases because they want you to pay to keep coming back to them to have to watch these. So I'm really glad that Hulu is kind of, pushing this one out on hard copy. I know it's only in the UK right now, but I think it's just a matter of time before we get it here.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm hoping this is a new trend.
I hope so. I used to like to collect all them.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. This is fresh. I just heard this one yesterday. If you haven't seen Becky yet, first of all, how are you watching this show? Becky was such an underrated, great movie. Kevin James, Joe McHale, and the young lady here playing Becky. We found out that we're going to get a sequel. Obviously, Joe McHale and Kevin James won't be returning. But this was a fun movie.
It was so good, man.
Yeah.
And Kevin James, seeing him in that role, that was crazy.
Yeah, he did a really good job.
He did.
Yeah. Talking Cronenberg a lot today. Dead Ringers, a movie from the 80s, great movie about twins who were surgeons, is coming to Prime, starring Rachel Weisz and Rachel Weisz, obviously, is the twins here. So this is interesting. I'm not sure where I stand on this.
I don't know. I like the visual, but yeah, I'm with you. I got to see a little more on this.
Yeah. It's hard for me to even fathom someone taking Cronenberg's work and trying to do it better.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
It's not possible.
Looks like Bruce Campbell might be coming out of hiding. We found out that there actually has been talks about an animated series, and Bruce said he's more than willing to do the voice. Obviously, he doesn't want to do the action stuff anymore. He's getting up there, but man, how cool would it be to get an animated Evil Dead series?
Oh, man, please.
Do you want it to carry off from the series? The post-apocalyptic Ash?
That would be very cool.
Yeah.
You know what? I think that'd be a good pickup point.
Yeah, because, the budget on that would be huge had they pursued an extra season. That would have increased the budget a lot to do the post-apocalyptic thing. Yeah. So I think this is the perfect way to give us that season.
Well, yeah, because with the animation, they can do whatever now. You know what I mean? They just have to get the characters' voices back.
Yeah. Then Bill Moseley, this guy's a workaholic. He's in everything. And Bill Moseley and Lynn Shay, you know her from freaking everything.
Insidious, everything.
Awesome. They're going to be coming to us in a movie called Scared to Death. It's about some filmmakers who enter an abandoned orphanage, and then, like every great horror movie, hilarity ensues. Oh, wait, no. Sorry. Not hilarity. I can't see this not being good. Like Bill Moseley and Lynn Shay are just too good.
Both of them are awesome. I can't wait to see this.
Another great movie. I love this movie so much. It was so fun. There's so many cringe-worthy scenes. And, we're hearing murmurs that we might be getting a Drag to Hell too.
Oh, man. That was so good.
Don't know a lot of the details, obviously, yet as far as return characters or storylines, but oh, my God.
Oh, this part.
Oh, so gross.
That made-
Oh, so gross.
oh my god, that
Oh my
was
god, I
so
hope he died of
nasty.
hepatitis shots. Oh my god. Blech.
Oh, I know, right? Ah.
She really knows how to give chin. That's one
Ugh.
gummer you don't want.
No.
No.
Ugh.
And last but certainly not least, this guy was a legend in the game, and great long life, 93 years old. We
Aw.
lost Raku Browning at the ripe old age of 93. Of course, the original creature from the Black Lagoon.
Wow.
My favorite of the original Universal monsters. I think highly underrated.
Yes. I love him. Like
I wish they've done more with him.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
They could have really played on that character.
Yeah. And little known fact, something you didn't know, something I didn't know until researching this week, but he was a big creative force behind the Flipper TV show.
Yeah, I never knew that.
Yeah, directed, I think, over 20 episodes and also co-wrote the movie.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah. We got him. Yeah. Drag Me to Hell or A Creature from the Black Lagoon. I know the comments are delayed, so sometimes we're not sure. We move kind of fast, but yeah, either way, either you're a fan of Creature.
Actually, I want to see Drag Me to Hell again tonight. I love that movie. It's so nasty.
We want to thank everybody for joining us for another episode. Again, good luck to Steve.
Thanks.
Nominated for the Rondo Hatton Classic Award for his animations in Terrifier 1 and Terrifier 2. So good luck with that, Steve. And
thanks, man.
Creature from the Black Lagoon. Yeah, so good. I'm one of those guys that, I was born in the late 70s, but I took to those old movies. I know we didn't have a lot of channels. We didn't have a lot of options. And I think people can make the argument that, the once better stuff came out, why would you go back and watch that old crap again? But I just love those old movies.
Same. There was a magic to them when you're a kid watching them.
It really is.
Man, it was so good.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks everybody for joining us and talking the history of splatter movies. This one was a lot of fun. We look forward to seeing you again in 2 weeks with a new topic, possibly guests. We have some feelers out there, so we're hoping to have someone cool from the horror world on to chat with us. But if you need a fix, you can check out our YouTube channel, Two Severed Heads on YouTube. We've got some great celebrity interviews on there, Lou Temple, John Philbin. So yeah, go check those out. And we can't wait to be back talking some horror with you, Steve, for Mr. McGinnis. He's hard at work at drawing away. You can check both of us out at Comic-Con in a couple months. He'll have his table there. I'll probably be there hosting some panels. If not, I'll be there lurking around being creepy like I do. And yeah, don't be afraid to come up and buy some of Steve's art or come and say hi and get a picture or whatever you want, man. We love interacting with the fans. We love the con circus, and it's just, it's nice to be around like-minded people because especially horror guys. Like we get a bad rap, I think.
Yeah, the horror people are so passionate. It's so unbelievable.
Passionate. Yeah, and I think I don't think it's a coincidence that horror people are metal people.
Well, yeah.
Because it is that same kind of.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. This is a lot of fun. Thanks for joining us. We really do appreciate you joining us every week. And yeah, remember, when you're out shopping, shop smart, shop S-Mart. It's been another episode of Two Severed Heads. We do need more horror cons, for sure. We definitely do. Yeah, for Bruce, for Steve, for me, this has been another episode of Two Severed Heads. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you in 2 weeks.